what's up, y'all? It's your girl at Gossip Viv, and you can go out and purchase my new book, How I Came to Accept Him, at any Barnes & Nobles, and you are checking me out exclusively for ThisIs50.com.
Yeah.
So this is 50 Radio, this is 50.com. I am going to be interviewed today, but I am Gossip Viv.
Yes, the Heineken is here. We have Viv's new book.
My new book.
And it's the scholar of literature, DJ Thorough.
Boom.
Professor Thorough on this interview. And
Bridge to the Streets.
Bridge to the Streets, right. First of all, I want to say congratulations on your book. You know, I could barely read and write myself, so I was never able to understand the concept of how do you put a book together? How were you able to put this together? How did it happen?
I was asked to write about a topic.
Okay.
The topic is my child who transitioned from being female to male, which y'all saw on VH1.
Okay.
And I was asked to write about my experiences and my struggles, because it was a struggle for me.
Right.
So it was very easy for me and it was very therapeutic because it was something that I needed to get off my chest.
Right.
And it can help others who may be struggling with those same difficulties that I face.
Right. Was it a thing where, well, let me ask you this. Is it easier, or is it the same where if a kid is a male person wants to be a woman, or if a woman wants to be a male, you think it's a difference in accepting it, like society-wise?
No, I mean, but that's just my personal opinion. I can't speak for other people. For me, I think it was just, in general, it could have been my son wanting to transition to a female, or my daughter transitioning into a male. I think either way it was going to be hurtful for me.
Right.
Because my beliefs, I just feel like you shouldn't be changing what God created. Right. But I understand that some people feel like this is not what I'm meant to be. Right. And I have to respect that.
Right. Mm-hmm. When did you first notice a change in that? When did you get wind of that? Because obviously it wasn't born like that. So when did you realize?
Well, some people will fight you on that, because some people say that they are born.
Well, from your perspective,
right,
from your experience, when did you realize, wait a minute, something is not right here? Well, not right, but
I noticed
not normal.
At about 8. My child didn't want to, and please guys, I know y'all know me, but don't say the real name, because I did change my child's name in the book just so that he won't be outed. Right. I noticed a difference at 8. At the time, when my child was a female, I would, put on dresses, get her hair done, and it was like a fight. Like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. It was that. And then it was like, for Christmas, you would buy Barbie dolls, and she wanted Power Rangers and trucks, and she wanted to go outside. So I thought it was like maybe a tomboy phase. I never really paid it no mind, but now, in the position that I'm in, and I look back, I'm like, wow, this is the struggle that at one point my child was going through. And then just like the behavior, it went from beautiful long hair to now it's nothing, it's a crew cut. Fitted clothes on a nice shape, now you're baggy, you're hiding your shape. You're hanging with certain females that I was like, wait a minute, I can tell they were gay. So it was that kind of
You've been in the industry a very long time. Mm-hmm. And as your child was ready to transition, how was that like, knowing how this is a fickle industry and anything that people could feel can be used against you as a weakness? Like, how was that, dealing with that? Did you feel like, is there a way I can hide this? Not because you were ashamed, but
right,
you wanted to
because you don't want nobody to talk about you.
Yeah.
Right.
What was that moment like for you?
Well, I always kept my kids pretty much hidden from my work life.
Yeah.
Unless I work close, like you guys know my kids. So, but y'all are like family to me. So I can have my kids around me. But, my kids don't normally be with me all the time. When I work, it's to work, and if I have to, if it's something really, really major and I have to bring them, I'll bring them. But for the most part, I keep my personal, and my career. That's just what it is. And with my child, I kept that aspect of it quiet. I never spoke about it because it was something that I actually was in denial about. I think what a lot of people like about me is the fact that I wasn't evil about it, because you hear a lot of these stories about kids who transition, their parents kick them out of the house, or they get beat up by their family members because they think something is wrong with them. And with me, although I was disappointed in the choice to transition, I still loved my child. Like, I still took my child to the grocery store. Come take a ride with me. Let's go to the mall. You know, those things didn't change. And at the end of the day, I love my child regardless. Whether he wants to change into a she or she wants to change into a he, you're still my baby. That's what I gave birth to. So that love is not going to ever change. I may be disappointed, but you got to understand, we're all humans. We all have our own paths and journeys that we have to take. And I'm not going to always agree with her, or I'm not going to always agree with Heineken. But does that stop me from being your friend? Right. No, it doesn't. You know, we just have to communicate better and you know, work through that.
Were you afraid of the industry knowing that you had a transgender child?
No, I wasn't afraid of the industry knowing. I just didn't like the way that the industry found out. I would never bring your child into our argument. You understand what it's just a line. I think everyone in the street know that there's a line you just don't cross. Right. And unfortunately for me, that line was crossed on national TV. So I had no choice. All the stuff that I was in denial about, all the things that I did not want to confront and face, I was forced to face them head on national TV because that became my storyline.
Right. How does your child feel about you writing this book? Were they against it, for it? Or?
No. When the idea came to me to write about the book, that was my first thing, to speak to my child about that. And I said, listen, what do you feel? You know, if you're not with it, I'm not going to do it. And my child said, go ahead, do it. As long as you don't write about me in particular. And so the book, when you read it, although I'm referencing things that I've experienced with my child, the book is not about my child. My book is about my struggle and the things that I've seen and the things that I felt like maybe it was my fault that my child turned this way. Because as a parent, I think you always feel like whatever your child's outcome is, you have a part because you raised your child. Right. So it's always like, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? What happened? You know, but me and my child talk all the time. It has nothing to do with me. So I'm grateful for that. In fact, my child created the cover. And this is actually the trans flag. A lot of people don't know that because you're so used to the LGBTQ. It's a rainbow, but specifically for a person of trans living, a transgender, this is their particular flag. So it's represented on the cover.
And what's the little triangle?
Oh, that's just the logo for my publishing company.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because you're around amazing celebrities. You have great relationships with influential people, not just the hi, bye, tag me in the picture. Were there any celebrities that help you, you know, not deal with it, but, you know, understand what you were going through or made it easier for you?
Yeah, honestly, I have to, First off, Kim Osorio, who actually wrote the foreword in my book. Kim Osorio is an OG in this game. Everybody knows her from Source Magazine. And she was one of the first industry people that I had the conversation with, you know, about my struggles and this is, you know, what's happening in my life. And, you know, she really tried. You know, although she's an OG in the entertainment industry, I'm kind of an OG in the parent world. Right. You know, I have more kids than most people, and I've been a parent since the age of 14. So my experience in being a parent has been a lot longer than a lot of other people. So, I mean, she tried the best that she could to give me the advice that she can. And I definitely have to give a major shout out to DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God and Angela Yee, because they were one of the first people to see the show and was like, you got to come up to Breakfast Club and talk about this because we want to make people familiar with this type of thing that's going on about trans life.
Did Angela, because you know, you've known Angela for 10 years, give or take, so it's a different friendship. Did she offer any encouragement, or were there any moments where it was like, yo, I got to talk to Ange about this?
No, I don't think so. You know what? Ange is really cool. She reached out like when it was happening. So you have to understand, like when you're filming for a national show like that, you don't never know who you're filming with. So a lot of the times I was calling Ange like, yo, they reached out to me. Who am I filming with? Am I filming with you? Because then I started to break down like who I'm filming with. Because if it's nobody I get along with, then I know I'm filming with somebody that I don't get along with. You know what I'm saying? So I would call Ange, you know, and tell her what was going on. And if I filmed, I'm like, yo, I did this. I know I, you know, messed up. And she'd be like, no, you did good. You did good. You know, I never had to lay hands on anybody, although I really wanted to. But you know, she was cool about it.
I have a question. What was it What's the perspective from their father's side on this happening?
On my children's father's side?
Right. What was his take on this?
They were not accepting of it. You have to understand they're Jamaican. And not to take anything away from Jamaicans.
The
but
culture.
The culture in itself is not too accepting. You know, they have terms like Bati boy and all this other stuff. And so it's kind of difficult. And they were still calling my child by their birth name. And when you see a man standing in front of you, because my child has had the surgery, taking the hormones, so you would never know at one point in life my child was a female. So when you stand there and you see a man, and then you see their grandmother or their father saying Khadijah, you know what I'm saying, instead of what their name is, and people are like, well, where's Khadijah? Because I don't see a girl around here. You know what I'm saying? It became that, and because of that, my child has stopped communication, but every now and again may make a phone call because you know you still need that connection.
That's still part of you, yeah.
That's still part of your life.
Let me ask. This is going to be a touchy angle, especially for what the book represents.
Yeah.
There was recently a debate about if a man and a woman's dating and either one is a transgender, before it gets to a physical connection, at least it should be disclosed what they were before. How do you feel about that? Especially with your religion and everything.
Well, here's the thing. If you have and this is just my opinion, if you have completely had all the surgery, and it's called gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah, I know how to process it. If you
had that, why should you disclose that at one point?
Let me ask you this. We're all private. You know the things about me outside.
Right.
But if you knew, I don't know any woman that can say they would take a man to be their husband knowing that he was drilling other men in a previous life. You understand what I'm saying?
It's so awkward.
No, listen to where I'm going. But now,
such an awkward question.
No, but listen. But now, if you just see one of your future husbands was dealing with a woman who used to be a man, even though everything's being reassigned, would that play in your head like is?
It wouldn't play in my head if that woman had a bourgeoisie, like, you know what I'm saying? Because the surgery created you to be this woman now. How can I judge you because you thought this was a woman? And
I think what he's saying is.
No, break it down.
Let me break it down for you. You're married now, correct?
I am. Okay. I've been married for a long time.
Right. So how would you feel right now if your husband goes, you know what? I used to be a woman.
I wouldn't believe him.
No, but
because I have too many kids.
Come on, no, listen. But hypothetically speaking, that's what he's saying. If you found out your husband used to be a woman, then what?
Or you used to sleep with other men that turned into women. You see the look on your face?
This is so weird.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not trying to play it. You understand?
No, I get it. But I don't know how I would feel.
You know why I'm asking? Because you know what your book is about and your experiences.
Right.
You have a perspective, especially in this industry, that nobody can understand. Right. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but
I don't know how I would feel.
I don't know.
You have wanted your husband to tell you he was a woman.
No.
So you don't want to know?
I don't want to know.
All right, well, that's just you.
That's just me.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, at the end of the day, if I married you, right, and I made a conscious decision to marry you,
right.
Do you think I'm worrying about how many women you slept with before me?
But you're a Muslim, though, right now. Wouldn't that play in your head?
No. Because when you're married, everything erases to me.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think what it says, you're cheating people out of choice. You got to give people the choice.
But how are you cheating someone out of their choice?
If I dated, me and you started dating, hypothetically speaking, obviously you're married, but if me and you started dating and then we became sexual and we ended up getting married, and you don't tell me you used to be a man, just speaking for me, I'm going to have a huge problem with that shit.
Would you even believe that?
No, but if it's true.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But when I find out it's true, that's going to... I don't know. That's gonna be it for me. I can't.
It's not gonna be.
That's just me.
Right.
That is gonna be it.
It's not gonna be it because you already got feelings invested, like you said.
I'm just saying for me. I'm only speaking for me.
I
would like to.
Listen. I've been with my husband for a long time. I've been with him for 17 years. It's for a very long time. It's gonna be 18 years. I can't even imagine him coming to me and saying, listen, at one point, I was a woman. I wouldn't even care. Like,
Okay.
because it's like,
Okay.
I've been with you 18
Let me
years.
stop you there.
You've been piping me down great.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man.
That's why I've been there for 18
Okay.
years. I don't care at this point no more because you're a man now.
Let's flip that. What if you came to him and go, you know what? I used to be a man.
He wouldn't even believe that. He would not even believe that because he'd be like, damn.
Oh.
No. He would not even
That's
believe that.
a lot. Now I see.
I would just like
let
to
me
know.
stop.
That's all.
Let me
Just me
stop.
personally, I would like to know what I'm getting into. That's all. That's just me.
Right, and I get it, but
I can't speak for no one else.
I don't.
so if you mean to tell me that if you get married to a woman, you have to know how many partners she's had?
No, I need to know.
No, I don't care.
need
She
to
can
know
fuck
if she
100
should be a
niggas.
man
I
or a
wouldn't
woman.
care.
I would like to know that. I would like to know that.
I would like to know if she was a
would
once a
like
man
to
or.
know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me.
I
can't speak for
I
anybody
just
else.
feel that that's irrelevant.
No, it's well, not
But
to
from
me.
a religious
Not to me,
standpoint,
it's
for some people, that you could sit there and say, "Yo, I was dealing with somebody that used to be a man."
I don't know.
That's
This is
every-
a-
And I'm far from
too
religious.
much for me. I want to get back to the book.
All right, let's get back to the book. That's another tough
That's another
topic.
book.
Yeah.
That's another book
book.
Yeah, you
that
should-
I don't have any experience on.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Understood.
It's called
Okay.
What Would You Do? That's the next book.
Yo, that's a great idea.
It is. I'm
Hey,
on
I
it
need 50
thorough.
I
I'm
need
on
50%.
it
I need
thorough.
my 50%.
I just need 2%.
All right, I'm just on it.
Still need my 50, but go ahead.
You get your 10.
What was the hardest chapter for you to write?
Well, if you read my book, it doesn't go by chapters. It goes by 3 parts. So the first part is basically me just talking about at the age that I had my child and the kind of relationship that I was in and how my child witnessed certain things, because I had my child so young and I was in a very abusive relationship, with someone who really didn't care about me or the kids, and I was in that relationship for at least 5-6 years at a young age.
Right.
So, it kind of brings you into this journey with me so you kind of know what my children witnessed, how how they came to be and what they witnessed and how I put things together in my head as a parent, like, okay, these are probably the things that led to this. Again, it's a book from my perspective.
Do you think this stemmed from, because I know when I was growing up, we had this girl that used to play football with us. Like she was like hard, and we would play football with her. And all she wanted to be around was guys, and turns out she turned out to be what we call a tomboy, and she never changed her sex, but she ended up being the man and a female. She ended up dating.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah, she's a lesbian. She ended up being a lesbian. But I saw that when we were kids, like early.
Right.
So in your case of your kid, was it a thing where they were always around men, boys, and they just
No, well,
develop into that?
no, it was more like my child was always around my other son and always wanting to be like a boy, like in the dirt, playing basketball, not really football because, at the time, that's not something my child was into, but, just, having fun, living life, and I just thought at the time when she was a female, just, a tomboy, like just having fun.
Right. At what age did she have the operation?
Okay. I get so odd about those kind of questions because it's like people say she, but it's
Okay, what?
It's-
That's
yeah.
what I said.
Yeah,
Let me consciously say kid.
yeah. I want to
At
be
what age did
politically
your-
correct,
did-
and I don't want to
right.
offend anybody.
Okay,
So,
what age did your child have the operation?
like 20.
At 20.
20.
Okay. Why wait till 20? Is that the legal age you can
No,
do?
no, no.
Okay.
Because my child was on hormones a lot earlier.
Okay.
Already making that transition. But my child at one point was, bandaging, pressing down their breasts by, wrapping themselves with an ace bandage. And I know it was uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to live this life and you want to be 100%, but let's keep it real. That to live that life costs money. And because listen, I just feel like I'm a supportive parent. But if I don't agree, I'm not going to assist in certain things because that's something that you decided you wanted to do. So that now becomes your responsibility. So it was a situation where my child wanted to get certain things done, and I was like, that's awesome. but you're gonna have to do that on your
That's
own
awesome.
time.
You're your
No,
own-
I listen. I get it.
Tough love, tough love.
You don't
that's like
agree
I want
with
to
it.
get a tummy tuck, but I'm not gonna go to you and say, "Yo, Daryl, can you hit me off for like 10 G's so I can get that tummy tuck?" You're gonna be
That's
like,
real
"Listen,
shit.
that's something you want to do. You go and get it." You know, that's just what it is. So, you know, my child worked really hard and stacked up that bread and got it done.
Wow.
But see, that's the kind of kids I raised. You see what I'm saying? Like, so although like these are the things that I'm experiencing and not accepting, I raised some pretty dope kids.
Right.
Why should they purchase this book?
Well, the reason why I wrote the book is to help other parents who are struggling because I know, one, it is a very difficult thing to accept. And it took me, I'm not going to lie to you, it took me about anywhere between 2 to 4 years to get to where I'm at today, where I'm happy. My child is happy. We're at a common place, and you disrespect my child, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, that's just what it is. Like, but it's a journey, and I want other parents to know, like, listen, you're not alone. This is somebody been through there, been there, done that.
Right.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to be willing to be open-minded and less selfish.
Right.
Any plans to write a second book about your journey in the world of the industry? You've had quite an incredible journey, television, internet. I think it would be great insight for young women who are like late teens, early 20s, who are trying to navigate this industry.
Right. I mean, I do, the first part of your question, I do have a second book in progress. I'm trying to decide what topic I want to write about. Because I literally wrote this book. Like, you know how some people, oh, I did a book, and then the editor did all the work. No, I wrote this book 110%. I did have an editor make corrections, but I literally wrote this book.
Nice.
And where can they
Yeah,
get
I was
it?
about to ask that. Where can they purchase this book?
Yes. This book, you can go to any Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, Books A Million. If they don't have the book on the shelf at Barnes & Noble, all you have to do is go to the cash register or the customer service desk and say, hey, I want to purchase How I Came to Accept Him by Vivian Billings. They will order it, no extra charge. They will ship it to your house, no extra charge. You just pay for the book.
Boom. Gossip Viv, aka Vivian Billings. Media diva.
Media Maven.
Maven.
Forward it.
Flipping it around. And yeah, get this book.
Go
Get the book.
Get the book. Get the book.